Hello everyone, my name is Vox, and I've got a lot of homework to do, and I'm stressing the hell out. So naturally, it's time to make another My Setup's Not Quite Ready, so I'm just going to vlog video. Woo! And I have a really interesting topic, well, I find it somewhat interesting topic that I'd like to talk about in this video. I wrote a piece about it on my website, link in description below as always, and I may actually write a column in this week's university paper about it. It's not necessarily the most relevant right now. There's not necessarily a whole lot of discussion right at this very second about it, but it's a trend of discussions that's been going on recently that I wanted to get my foot into. Just kind of talk about and give my opinions on. I like giving my opinions on these more broader, general things. It also avoids offending people more, I guess. But there's always been recently an argument that comes up about the idea that mobile gaming is the future of gaming. That basically what we play on our iPods and our iPhones and playing Candy Crush and playing Flappy Bird and Flappy Bird and Angry Birds and all the bird games and the touching game, all that stuff, that's the future of gaming. And so game developers really need to look to these mobile games because that's the future. That's the wave of the future. That's what video games are going to. Completely disagree. I could not disagree more, to be honest. And it seems to be a rising idea, but to me it's completely misled. The idea that mobile gaming is the future is kind of missing the idea, the fact that this trend has happened in all forms of media, and it's just happening now in games because games are obviously the newest kind of media out there for this to happen in. So let's take it into context in terms of the outside media and look at it a little bit. There are plenty of examples of, you have essentially each form of media has two audiences. Just in my argument here, there's two audiences for each form of media. There is the core audience that really is into this form of media, this medium, and really likes what's going on in the scene. And they're the hardcore or just core fans, followers, audience members, participants in terms of like video games, etc. Then you have the filthy casuals. The casual people who just enjoy it passively, who just enjoy it every now and then. So let's take it in terms of TV shows. There's a lot of TV junkies who just love good TV dramas, good solid TV shows, and they know a lot about TV, they watch a lot of TV, but they like just solid shows. Okay, I'm just going to make up show names. I'm not stating opinions about whether or not these are the top shows or any crap like that. I'm just naming random shows I can think of. So, let's say the guy who's been watching TV for the longest time likes House and Dexter and Game of Thrones and things like that. So, that's the show he watches. Well, this girl over here likes watching Big Bang Theory and Seinfeld, although Seinfeld's considered legendary, so maybe not Seinfeld, but Big Bang Theory and The Office and things like that. Sitcoms, although The Office I guess is less of a sitcom, but think about sitcoms. Big Bang Theory is all that's coming to mind at the moment, although there's plenty of them. Parks and Rec and all that crap. Sitcoms. They're usually 30-minute, just quick, funny, just quick shows. A drama TV show you typically, or long-running TV show, you typically can't watch just one episode and really have a whole lot. I mean, you can tell what's going on in the episode, but you're missing the whole context of the TV show itself. Sitcom, however, watch one episode, it's funny, you get a glimpse into the characters. It really doesn't matter what the overarching plot is because they don't necessarily just strictly follow it. Every popular pastime has a more casual version of it, a more simplified casual version of it that can be enjoyed as standalone releases and require very little obligation or involvement and can be kind of enjoyed universally across multiple age ranges. It doesn't take someone who's just seriously into the series, who seriously knows what's going on, to understand what's happening. Casual involvement, limited experience, but you still get to enjoy it nonetheless. I can go watch one episode of Big Bang Theory without watching the whole show, still find it funny, still know what's going on, and be good to go. Just randomly grab an episode of Dexter, you're going to be a little lost as to why the hell he's doing the things that he's doing. Or watch one episode of Game of Thrones, and you're probably going to be really freaked out as to why all this is happening in the middle of a TV show. The important takeaway from that, however, is that the casual experience does not replace the core experience. It's simply a supplement. And so, we're going to get back to games in a minute, but those who can't really afford to sit down and watch hour-long TV shows all the time, they can watch quick sitcoms and kind of, get some passive TV time in. Think about it in terms of video games. People who can, sit there, core gamers don't always play mobile games, but there's a lot of people that play mobile games that are not core gamers. That's because it's easy, it's accessible, it's here. So let me load up Candy Crush. We got Candy Crush on my iPod here. Just because I'm playing this on my iPod, let's say when I'm in the car, well, obviously not when I'm driving, but like waiting for something or whatever, and this totally isn't like Bejeweled at all. That doesn't replace me playing Halo, or me playing Dark Souls, or me playing Minecraft. It's a completely different game, it's a completely different idea. Mobile games are time killers. Mobile games are not actual games, in my opinion, in most cases. There are some minor excuses where they really try to approach the level of being a formal game. However, for the most part, it doesn't replace the core experience. It's just a supplement. It's just a casual, passive experience. So you have core gaming running here with just, a certain set of requirements, a certain set of expectations, a certain audience. And then you have the mobile games, which kind of interacts and touches on every now and then, but in theory should have very little of effect and really doesn't affect the audience of the core gaming very much. However, core gaming could dramatically impact mobile gaming depending on which innovations happen. However, at the moment we are seeing the opposite with mobile gaming, but I will kind of touch on that in a moment. Casual gamers. They're not a bad thing. They play Farmville, they play Candy Crush, they play Flappy Bird. No, sure, if you want to get into separatism and elitism, they're not true gamers, they're filthy casuals, blah blah blah. They're still playing video games. They're not, it allows a lot of non-gamers to be gamers. There's so many people who would play Call of Duty even, this isn't even a mobile game, but Call of Duty. Or who play Candy Crush, who play Farmville. They're not really gamers, they don't go play in a lot of video games, they just play these specific things because they're casual, passive enjoyment. They're, it's more of an accessibility thing than, I don't know, it doesn't replace regular video games. It's about Joe Schmo, the football player, who barely ever sits at home, but when he does, maybe he wants to load up Candy Crush, or, if Susie Q, who doesn't like nerds, is bored one day, she can sit there and play Flappy Bird for a few minutes, etc. And it's not like we don't play mobile games as core gamers, but we're not taking time away from our core gaming experience to play more mobile games. And that's where the accessibility part comes in. Anybody at this point can play a mobile game, unless you're living in a third world country. If you have a Facebook account, an iPod, an iPad, an iPhone, a web browser, a PlayStation Network account, an Xbox Live account, a smartphone, or even a phone from 10 years ago, because I've had a few that had mobile games very similar to the ones that are popular today, you can play mobile games. And so that's where it comes into attaching a separate market here. This isn't the core gaming market changing and moving with mobile games. It is a separate gaming market that may have at one time been very similar to the gaming market, moving away from it. Because this is core gaming and mobile gaming, and they may sometimes touch and bounce back and forth, but they are not the same market, and they never will be. And so, in that regard, mobile gaming is not the future of gaming. And frankly, I get really tired of those claims. Now, a lot of where people are coming from with this is in that a lot of gamers who are used to buying 99-cent and $5 games on their iPods and iPads are starting to be more demanding of games for actual consoles and PCs because they can't fully justify, or they don't see the justification of paying $60 for Metal Gear versus paying 99 cents or $5 for Candy Crush, or even paying free for it. And then they're a lot more critical of indie games when they're not free to play or like 50 cents, because they don't understand that a popular like mobile app game is going to sell a bajillion copies. You sell it for 99 cents, you're still making a lot of money. An indie game that maybe sells 300 copies, not so much. So they got to charge a bit more for it. And so There's a lot more strain and demand on the games market at the moment for games to suit the needs of people who have been heavily influenced by the mobile gaming market. However, we're starting to move away from that simply because core gamers are starting to fight back and be like, okay, look, you've put out this series once a year for the past 5 years now, and it's only gone downhill because you're putting it out every year. It's time to step up the quality, or we're just not going to buy your game. And so we're finally starting to see a response for that. Developers are starting to respond, and we're starting to equal out a bit more. And so the only way in which mobile gaming really represents the future of gaming is in that it shows that gaming is here to stay. Every other form of medium has had its casual, casual version of it show up, and so it's kind of just like another milestone in the development of gaming on the whole, as a media, as a form of expression, as a form of entertainment. And so that's a good thing, but you're not really ever going to see Candy Crush, Angry Birds, Farmville replacing Devil May Cry or Metal Gear or Dark Souls, just like you wouldn't see Big Bang Theory replacing Dexter or something. Like, two different markets, same, similar, video games and TV shows, the casual and hardcore versions of them are still the same type of content, but totally different audiences, totally different purposes. Not really meant to compete, not really meant to directly innovate one another. Hope this made sense to you guys. Hope you understand my rant. I started losing my pace here at the end because my drive on Choose computer that I'm recording on at the moment apparently filled up halfway through my recording, so I had to re-record part of it. And I always lose my thoughts when I have to re-record something and lose my motivation. But I think I did alright. Leave your thoughts about this topic in the comments section below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.